Hey, Papa Joe, thanks very much for taking the time. Would like to start this interview, this podcast by, can you just briefly introduce yourself? Where does your journey start, and where are you right now?
Well, thank you so much, guys, for having me on. I appreciate it. My name is Papa Joe Aviance. I reside in Los Angeles, California. My journey started about 5 years ago. I was unemployed, overweight, and didn't really have means to survive. And had an opportunity to, just a little bit of a backstory, had a little bit of an opportunity to record a vocal on a track called Last Night a DJ Saved My Life. And when the track came out, it became a top 10 Billboard dance hit. When I saw myself in the video, I didn't like the way that I looked. And I had this opportunity to do music, and I just didn't feel comfortable the way that I looked in the video. So I said it was time to make a change. So I got up the next morning and made the change. And ever since then, everything's been different. Life has changed, so to speak.
How did this interest into music appear for you?
A DJ by the name of Eddie Amador walked into a video store when I was working at a video store, and he basically said, "You've got an excellent voice for house music." And I'm a huge fan of house music to begin with, but to say, "Hey, you've got the chops to do it," it was most appreciated. And so what I did was I went over to his house and recorded a sample vocal. And he basically pitched it to a label, and they contacted him and said, "Hey, we want this guy on our track." And the label contacted me like 3 weeks later saying, "Hey, let's shoot a video." And we shot the video, and then next thing I know, I'm getting a call saying it's going to be on Billboard Dance Hits. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So my very first single that I've ever done in my entire life winds up being on the Billboard charts.
And when did you record the song? When did the song come out?
The song came out in 2010, called Last Night a DJ Saved My Life. It was the club version of the 1970s hit, Last Night a DJ Saved My Life. But it was Lula featuring myself, Papa Joe.
And were you always passionate about music from a young age, or was that something that it was developed later?
I've always had a passion for music. I played violin when I was younger, as well as I played the drums in high school. So music has always been it's also been a part of my family as well. I grew up around music, but obviously life took over, and I didn't feel like I could make a career out of it at the time. So I, went a different route. But then I had an opportunity, when I moved out from New York to Los Angeles, the DJ walked in and saved my life, so to speak. And then basically I always laugh and I say, the song was a DJ saved my life, but then when I saw myself in the video, I saved mine.
How did you manage to make such an instant change of mindset once you saw it and then you took action immediately? How did you do that? Because many people try to do it, but they don't.
Well, I don't know if, yeah, I don't know if, well, I didn't mention this part, but I lost over 250 pounds by walking. No gym, no gastric bypass surgery, no crazy diets. And then I did it all by shopping at a local 99-cent only store here in LA. Everything is 99 cents as far as food is concerned. Like I said, I was unemployed, didn't have a lot of money at the time. So I had to figure out a way that I was going to eat properly, and then figure out an exercise where it was going to be low impact and something that I could do on a daily basis. I couldn't afford the gym, so I couldn't afford the gym memberships or anything like that. So I grabbed my tennis shoes and my dance music, and I started walking outside. And within 18 months, I basically lost over 250 pounds.
Well, that's incredible, and such a great example for anyone who wants to start and change something that they don't like. It takes very little effort. I think you hit a very interesting point, because it seems that you selected the activity that has the least resistance. That
yes.
Also you were constrained a little bit by the circumstances, but can you talk a little bit more about how you're promoting this type of mindset in terms of people changing their lives?
Well, I think, to be honest with you, for me, I had to hit like a rock bottom, so to speak. I think everybody has their wake-up call. So I don't really try to push my lifestyle on anybody because it's not for everybody. If they're not ready to make the change, then they're not ready. But most people want to make the change. And that's one of the things that I've been throughout this journey. I found that most people want to make the change. They just don't know how. So by me kind of showcasing what I do, people are starting to follow the same footsteps, so to speak, and start walking and just do low impact exercises, because everybody thinks, oh, you got to go to the gym, you got to get a trainer. And there's just all these other different areas that you have to, so to speak, including work in your daily life, that it just makes it hard and stressful. And then people just kind of say, ah, you know what, I don't want to work out. So for me, it was really about finding something easy, something that I can do on a daily basis. And that was walking. And it's something that I enjoy. It's easy, because that's one of the things that I said to myself, you know, being that I was 475 pounds, I said to myself, what is the easiest exercise that I can do? Because I hate to exercise. And I knew even back then when I was that heavy, I knew I had to exercise. I knew what it took. I just didn't do it. And I think for me, the wake up call was having having the passion for music and having the opportunity to do music. You know, that was really kind of like my wake up call to say, hey, if I want to do this for a long period of time, I don't want to look like that anymore. And at the time, the label had contacted me because of my size. I was considered like the next Biggie Smalls for house music. And I said, no, that's not really me. I mean, I like rap, I like hip hop, and I love, you know, spoken word, because that's the form that I do. But they were comparing me to AIG, and I'm like, well, he got shot. So I don't want to get shot. And so let's change this. Let's, you know, and so finally that was my wake up call. But I think that, you know, from speaking to a lot of people, there are a lot of people that want to make the change. They just don't know how. And for me, it was just simple steps as far as, you know, figuring out my nutrition. And I went back to basics. I mean, I literally went back to basics, like what is good for you and what's bad for you. And I had to break it down like simple stupid. What's good for you and what's bad for you. So, you know, cakes, sweets, carbohydrates, you know, all that stuff. I had to monitor it and say, okay, I'm done with you for 6 months, and stick to fruits and vegetables and protein.
Can you share some details on the walking routine and the diet?
Well, the walking routine, the very first time I walked, I could barely walk around the block without having mounds of sweat. And then day 2, you know, I just said, okay, you got to do it again, and just kept going at it every single day. And then with the food, basically what I did was I cleared out my fridge of everything that was going to get in my way of losing the weight. So basically, honestly, I was left with a bottle of ketchup and a bottle of mustard. My fridge. And so, you know, and then like my friend said, you know, you got to check out the 99-cent only stores. And I went over there and saw that they had fruits and vegetables, you know, for 99 cents. And I was like, oh, you know, it was a godsend for me. So I'm like, okay, I can survive on this. So I had to figure out, you know, what fruits and vegetables I enjoy and what I could stomach on a daily basis, and eating day after day. And even though I was eating them day after day, and not get tired of them, and stick to that plan. And it, you know, within 6 months and walking. And then what I did was every time when the single came out and the video was released on YouTube, what I did was every time the single jumped up to another number, because it debuted at number 24 and it wound up going, it stayed on the charts for 5 weeks, and it wound up going up to number 6 on the top 10 Billboard dance hits. So what I did was every time that it debuted at 24, and then the next week it would debut at number 20, and it just kept going up and up and up. But what I would do is I would walk to a further magazine stand to go buy the magazine. So that was my incentive to walk further. So by the time I finished walking, or by the time I went to number 6, I was doing almost 5 miles around my neighborhood.
Wow. Did you rely on a system to keep you accountable?
I'm sorry?
Did you rely on a system to keep you accountable with your daily routine?
No, I just knew that I had to do it, and I knew that every time. Well, I did. Well, honestly, it was the video. I would come back from working out, and I would push play on the video and watch it again, and be like, okay, back at it tomorrow.
That's amazing. And considering that you've been doing walking and focused so much on that for the past few years, did you by any way change your routine over the past couple of years?
Yes, I mean, all of that has evolved from walking to bike riding to hiking. I mean, I'm doing everything that I couldn't do before, and I'm loving it. I'm a brand new person. It's a brand new life. I'm so thankful that I made the change, so to speak. And I just, I'm happy with the results. Cause I'm bike riding like 50 to 75 miles. I've never done that before in my entire life.
That's amazing.
I'm hiking mountains that I've never thought I'd see the top of, or that I would look at and be like, okay. And now here I am hiking it to the top, and I'm like, this is awesome, and just the sense of relief. And just the normal things that I couldn't do before. I've even said, even riding roller coasters, as something as simple as riding a roller coaster. Well, before I couldn't fit into a roller coaster seat. There was a time where I couldn't fit into one because I was too heavy. So, to go to an amusement park and just to be able to do some of the simple things that that other people get to do on a daily basis, it's life-changing. And to be able to shop in a regular store, obviously there are a lot of stores that carry plus size clothing, but back then I had to go to a specialty store.
Are you still
and say it again?
Are you still as strict on the diet as you were before?
I mean, well, now it's about maintaining it. I don't want to lose any more weight because I went from a size 58 jean to a 34.
That's a huge transformation. And this life-changing event and taking care of your health, how did that impact your business life and career? Because definitely something there as well.
I mean, it's giving me more confidence. It's giving me more energy. It's giving me just the ability to be able to talk about this. I mean, I've gotten so many doors have opened with opportunities like this to be able to speak to you, to share my story. And I'm thankful for that because I've also became the brand ambassador for the 99-cent only stores for like 2 years. I'm the American Heart Association's Lifestyle Change Ambassador. I do a lot of their public events. And so, I mean, I just get to meet tons and tons of people, and with the business that I do and part of the motivational speaking that I do, and I speak to people, it's just, I get to meet a wide variety of people that I never would have been able to meet otherwise. And it's because I took that first step. And I really do believe that if you do want to make that change, you just got to take the first step. And part of the problem today in today's society is that everybody wants results now, the next day. And it's not going to happen. And you have to realize, and I think once people realize it's not going to happen overnight and that it takes time, but if you stick to it, you can do it. And I think, and that goes with anything. Same thing for the business. It's you just keep putting it out there and just keep, with it and just being resilient and persevere. It's going to hit. It's going to hit. I mean, I started a clothing line. I started a production company. I also, I do motivational speaking. I also host. I do producing on the side as well. And I work with Kent as well through Connect TV. I do a lot of the hosting events for that. But I mean, again, all of this because of the life change.
Right. Have you always been that persistent and patient in everything that you're doing? Because it seems that this is a pattern for you.
Well, I was very impatient. I've tried every diet out there, every diet that you can imagine, and some not so healthy as well. but you know, I didn't stick with it. I gave up too easily. I gave up when I didn't see results. I gave up after, you know, I tried it for a month, and if I didn't feel like I was, you know, the way that I am now, you know, I gave up, and I would go right back to my old ways. So finally, you know, that video, you know, Last Night a DJ Saved My Life was really my wake up call, because I was at a low point in my life, you know, without job security, without any type of financial security at all. And I'm like, okay, and this is how you look, and you've got this opportunity to do something that you're passionate about. It really was, you know, kind of like it instilled in me to stick with it. And I'm so thankful that I did. And now, trust me, I mean, I've had my plateaus where I'll go for about a month or so, and I'm like, dang it, I can't lose any weight. And then the next week, you know, the next month, it winds up falling, you know, 10 pounds wind up falling off. I'm like, dang, where'd you go? It's just being consistent and staying with it. And that's really what's been beneficial for me to just maintain a healthy lifestyle. And I'm just so happy. And I just want to share that, because part of my mission is I want people to feel like I do. I want people to be happy. I want people to be successful in whatever they do and whatever they're passionate about, because I mean, it's like I'm living proof. I'm living the dream, and just as you guys are, you know what I'm saying, with what you're starting and what you're building. You know, you build the foundation. You're building a house. You know what I mean? A house of your dream, so to speak. And you're laying down the foundation, even through this podcast and through your clothing line and through everything you guys are doing. You know, so it's just building that foundation and then just staying persistent with what you're doing, and eventually people will catch on and appreciate what you do and you know, take action.
It's incredible how all of this is possible today with the power of technology. And I'm really impressed with how you're using technology as well today to communicate all these platforms, the things you're doing on Twitter, and when you're meeting fans especially. Can you share a little bit about how you're using all these new platforms to spread the message of Papa Joe?
Well, you know, the internet, thank goodness for the internet, because to be honest with you, it gets it out there to a larger platform, basically the world. You know, I've done network television before, and you know, that too as well. But the internet, you know, as much as I hate the internet sometimes, because it's a lot, you know what I mean? Obviously, you have to post on all these different platforms and applications. It's like, it gets a little frustrating at times, but you have to do it if you kind of want to stay in the business, so to speak, in the industry. I think that it's something that it allows you to have people to have access to your life and to what you go through on a daily basis. I think sometimes it's a little too much information. Some people give away too much information, but I think that for the message of what I'm trying to do, I think, you know, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat, and Instagram, and all those different other platform applications, it's beneficial. It's out there, and to get it out there to a larger audience, to find your audience, so to speak. And once you find your audience, it's just basically maintaining that. And it's the same thing with changing your life, so to speak, or having this, you know, my weight loss journey, is sticking with it and being persistent and staying up, letting people stay updated on what you're doing and you know, kind of your thoughts, so to speak. Like, I even checked out you guys. You guys are awesome. I love, you know, I love what you guys are doing with technology. I love that you guys are, you know, letting people know what your process is.
Thanks so much. That was
this is where we want to,
very beginning.
Yeah, we are, and this is where we want to be, you know. And you guys, I love it, and I love the way you guys are pushing it as well. So we're using technology, and the fact is, I mean, you guys are in Australia, right?
No, we're in the Netherlands, in Europe.
Oh, you're in Netherlands. Oh, okay. So see, that's what I'm saying. And look, here we are connecting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the power of technology, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And here we are connecting, you know, and sharing, and I think that's a beautiful thing. That it's, you know, I don't know where it's going to go from here. I don't know what's going to be next. I don't know what the next new hot thing is going to be, but I think for right now, it's a way to get your message out there to a broader audience and to find your audience. You know, with things like this, it's a wonderful thing. I'm happy for social media, even though I get frustrated with it, because you know, there's some days, you know, you don't want to post, or you do want to post, or you don't want to share certain things that are going on in your life. And You know, you got to be private about some things because for myself, you know, since I'm trying to live a public lifestyle, you know, there's some things I can post and some things I can't post. But, you know, I do think that it's an outlet to just get your message out there. And I'm thankful for that because it's not relying on the networks or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not relying on like a CBS or an NBC or a major network to get your message out there. All you got to do is, you know, hit live stream and go live if you want. Be like, hey, what's up, everybody?
Do you plan how you gonna spread the content on all these platforms, or do you just go by feel?
Well, I try to split it up, but now I'm finding out that I'm gonna have to do a little bit more because I don't do as much. To be honest with you, social media and I have I used to work for America Online. A little bit of a background. I used to work for America Online. So when America Online first, are you familiar with them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they first came out, I used to work for the computing department. So basically, my background, you know, in technology, it's a double-edged sword for me because you know, I see the back end, and you know, I also see the front end of what social media does. So for me, I've got to do a little bit more, obviously, in spreading the message and spreading the content. But that's something that I'm working on personally because, like I said, I try to remain as private as possible, or I like to be. So you know, I like to be kind of like mysterious, so to speak. But I think, you know, a lot of people, you know, I just have to get on there and you know, just share the love and spread the message, and that's pretty much what it's all about. So, you know, that's something that I'm working on. But you know, I think that I will be able to get it out there and do what I need to do and put it to use, so to speak. So
you mentioned you're doing quite a few things at the same time. How do you go about investing and allocating time in all those different ventures?
Networking. Networking my butt off. You know, you guys know this, running your own business. I mean, you've got to network and you've got to hustle and you've got to meet and greet. You've got to talk. You've got to be open to certain things. And you know, some people I work with, and there's a lot of people that I don't work with. But I do feel that networking is a huge asset to growing anybody's business. That's one of the things that I take pride on, and that I think I do very well. Not to toot my own horn or anything like that, but I love to network. I love to meet people. I'm a people person. I like to, you know, talk. I like to communicate. I like to, you know, aside from, and see, that's the problem with social media for me, is that I think that it's a different form of communication, because you're either putting your message out question for people to respond. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and
yeah,
with
so
networking, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, please.
With networking, I wonder, unless it's a really private question, but is there someone that stands out that you would like to give a shout out to? Or if this is too much of a private question, is there a mentor of yours or someone you really admire that you have connected through all your work?
Wow. I have several. I have several mentors. To be honest with you, I'll be honest with you. My biggest mentor is my mom. My biggest mentor, and she doesn't do, huh?
Can you share a little bit more about that?
My mom, she's been my biggest cheerleader throughout all of this. She's been my #1 fan. She keeps me grounded, and not to let any of this go to my head, and to realize what the message is, and that when things don't work out, to stay strong and to stay persistent. And I call it CPR, so to speak. She kind of like recharges me with CPR. And the way that I use CPR is not the way that it's used. CPR to me is confidence, persistence, and resilience. So that's the acronym that I came up with for that. and she provides that for me. And I am very thankful for her. Like I said, she's my biggest mentor and she's my biggest fan. And it's been a great support system, and she's just helped me just keep me grounded, because a lot of this stuff, a lot of people do TV and stuff like that, it goes to their head and they think they're big shots. And and I think with anyone starting their own business, number one, you've got to have guts and wanting and taking the risk to jump. And then two, once you jump, you got to fly. And realizing that just like any baby bird that falls out of the nest flying for the first time, they don't always fly the first time. They may fly the second time, but it's just constantly reminding yourself. And that's one of the things that she's helped me to kind of keep focused, is that, when things don't go the way that it's supposed to go, maybe it wasn't supposed to go that way. And other doors have opened up, like something like this. You know what I'm saying? Like opportunities like this come up where I'm able to share my story. Yesterday or something, a business deal cower, but today here I am sharing my story with you.
Yeah.
So it's just reminding me to stay positive. And that's one of the biggest things, because obviously starting your own business and being an entrepreneur, that's one of the biggest things is, you want the success, you want it to take off, because you are so passionate and you believe in your product so much that you want everybody to just be able to bask in the glory and the joy of what you're doing. And, not everybody is so receptive to it.
Yeah, staying passionate and being positive is super important in these, especially the early days. I wonder if you have some experience where you have faced adversity in the process of building this empire that you're building, and how did you deal with that?
Oh my gosh, I've been burned several times. I always say, get a contract, get everything in writing, straight up. If you're doing any type of deals, get everything in writing right up front. I've been burned several times, and I've learned my mistakes. And not to say that I won't have run into any more, but I've learned from them. And I think that's one of the things that has kept me afloat, is learning from those mistakes. That, okay, it happened. I'll what's the word I'm looking for? I'll grieve about it for a minute and then move on. So, but one of the biggest things that I've learned is just to, trust your passion, trust your purpose, and just move forward. You know what I'm saying? I think there's room for everybody. To be honest with you, it's a big world. So there's room for everybody to do what they love to do. It's just a matter of finding your niche and moving forward and staying, like I said, staying positive and moving forward. But one of the things that I have learned is get everything in writing. If you're going to make a deal, get it in writing.
Good tip. What's the near future vision for yourself? Maybe personal brand wise, or maybe some products that you're going to develop. What's the plan for the next few years?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question. There's a lot that's going on right now at the moment. I have an animated character called the Electric Negro, one of the shirts that I've been promoting. I do have a clothing line. I've got about 4 or 5 shirts. Basically, it's a positive and inspirational message on the shirts. Keep people motivated and inspired. It's a lifestyle brand. And one of the shirts that's been the most popular so far has been this Electric Negro character that I'm building. And through that, I've got the opportunity to now produce hopefully an animated series, as well as a comic book, as well as just action figure has now approached me. A toy company has approached me about doing an action figure. And literally, I'm still selling shirts. You know what I'm saying? I'm still selling shirts and hats. So, but it's getting ready to branch out into these other areas that I never imagined. And, I'm taking the bull by the horns. I'm running with it. I'm like, all right, let's do this. Branching out into different areas that, like I said, I've never envisioned. But I'm willing to take the risk and go for it.
How do you? It's very interesting, because me and Marina are also discussing some ideas around comic books and building characters out, even though it's not directly connected to an apparel business. But I'm just wondering, how do you go about building that character up that you mentioned, Electric Negro? How do you go about building that through your actions and through your presence?
Well, I joke and say that I'm the Electric Negro, and that through my transformation, I found the superhero within myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of been that's been kind of like the moral of the brand, is to tap into your superhero and find your inner strength, so to speak. So that's what's been selling. That's how I've been selling the product, is through that. Finding their strength within themselves to be themselves.
That's nice. Is the character and the design that's around the apparel company, and also now about the comic books and the comic book heroes, is it by your own design, or did you work with external designers?
I worked with one designer for the shirt, and even if you saw the shirt is a silhouette of a African American character. So it's a silhouette. There's no face to it, because at the time I didn't even envision the comic book or a TV show. So thankfully, I'm thankful that I kept it as a silhouette, because now I can go back and try to put a face to the name, and then start to build it. And I'm developing, like I said, I'm producing the TV show, the animated series. And I'm starting to produce the comic book. So right now, I'm meeting with tons of developers and illustrators to help, and designers to help me try to figure this out. And it's been a process. It's a learning process, because this is something that I've never done before. So, but I love the challenge, and I love the fact that, hey, this is where we're going to take it. Okay, let's go. Let me see what you have to offer. And it's been a good, this part of the business has been, because I like the creative side. I like being creative. So that part of it, this is something that I really enjoy. I like brainstorming different ideas and just kind of, brainstorming different ideas with a group of people and see what we come up with. And that's something that I'm working with now.
And when you're so passionate about the creative side, sometimes maybe you lack the passion or even the skills from the business side. I wonder, do you do that yourself as well, or do you also partner on the business side with a partner?
I'm doing both.
Okay.
I'm stretching myself way thin. Sometimes I'm stretching myself way too thin, but no, I'm doing both. Because again, for me, and just like when I started the clothing line, I didn't know anything about clothing. All I knew is I didn't know about the different screen printing styles that you can get done. I didn't know about the design. I didn't know about any of that stuff. I just thought I'd put a logo on a shirt and sell it. I didn't know the process. But I love learning about the process. And that's something that, being involved with the development side of the this television show and the comic book, it's something I'm passionate about, because again, I get to be creative, which is something that I love to do. And then it's taken on a whole new meaning, because like I said, the Electric Negro was kind of like a mirror image of what my lifestyle, like I said, finding that inner superhero within myself. Now I've got to brainstorm it to others to find the strength within themselves. Now I got to figure out a way to flip it. I'm going to take it not about me, it's about you. Not you, but people.
Yeah, exactly.
So and yeah, so it's been and learning the process on the back end. That's why I think like I shine more, to be honest with you. Everybody says, "Oh, you're great in front of the camera." Oh, you got a great personality. You should be in front of the camera. Da, 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 da. Not so much. I like being behind the scenes. I love being behind the scenes. I love that, like I said, and that's one of the things that keeps me passionate, is learning the process of building, rather than having somebody do it for me. And because then I think if you're not involved in your product, and I don't know if you're familiar with the show The Prophet, Mark Leonis.
No.
He said that there's 3 things that he said that, and I've always taken this to heart, and I've kind of like felt this before he even said it, was get involved with your product and process. And those are the 3 things that that I've been passionate about, is developing the process, the product, and the process. And I love it. I love figuring out, okay, how am I going to get this done, or how am I going to make this, and then seeing it come to life. The very first time that I got a shirt order done, I cried. This is so awesome. Oh, you know what I mean? I cried because I couldn't believe it. Like, look what you've created. Now, okay, now you got to go sell it, but look what you've created.
Exactly. This excitement of building something new and something your own and putting it out in the world is an incredible feeling.
Yeah.
And this love with the process, we noticed it's something like a common theme among all the other people we've interviewed as well. Also Kent as well. Can you share a little bit about what you're doing together with Kent? Because we'd love to have this bridge between the two episodes as well. And I'm also personally curious.
Yeah, I am producing with Kent. I work with Kent and Connect TV, which is his live streaming company, live streaming TV network company. I do, as far as the producing side, I've got my own channel as well. I've got my own health and wellness channel. It's under Papa Joe Aviance, Connect TV. And then in addition to that, I do a lot of hosting. So on the producing side, since I'm in the health and wellness sector, I basically help him find other social media influencers like myself that are doing health and fitness and help them bring to the table some of their content so they can be a part of the Connect TV family, as well as when he does live events, I do a lot of the hosting as well. So I'm hosting on the red carpet, or whether it's hosting a gala or an event or something like that, and be a part of the live stream as well. So I'm doing two things at once, but it's something, again, it's getting out there and networking and talking to people. And that's one of the things that I really do like about Kent's company, is that it's called Connect, so it's got the meaning right off the bat. This is what we're all about, and I enjoy working with Kent. Kent's a great guy. He's very passionate about what he's doing, and I want to jump on board, because, to be honest with you, I don't think that anybody can do anything alone. I think we have to do it together.
Yeah.
And just even how we're speaking together, I would love to rep your product. Let me put on a shirt. Let me put on a hat. You know what I mean? Because it just helps get the word out for everybody.
Yeah.
And I believe in team building, and that's something that Kent and I share. We're passionate about, is team building. And we both care about, I care about what others are doing, because then again, I get to learn other different methods that I never thought, other health and wellness methods that I can incorporate into my daily life.
Exactly.
And I get to meet and talk to the other social media influencers and find out new things that I can incorporate into my life. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is great. This is what I want, and it feeds me. So it's like school life. It's like literally life is schooling me. So to speak. Do you know what I mean? And it's schooling me by these connections. And it's schooling me through the people that I'm meeting and listening and learning from what they have to offer. And then once I hear that, I take tidbits of information of what I get, the information of what I can grasp, and then I take it and run with it, and apply it for myself. And if it works, so it's the same thing with Kent, it's working with Kent. And that's the reason why, when like, even when I saw your hats, I love the hat. I'm like, where'd you get the hat from?
There's only one of those hats, because we made them. We're not planning to sell them in the near future, but we made just one off. But we've got some comments about the hat, so we might think about it.
Okay.
You mentioned.
No, but I mean, it was interesting, because and again, this is how we're all connecting. You know what I'm saying? It's literally. It's spreading the message for everyone. Do you know what I mean? So you're interviewing me, I get to share my story with you. I get to hear bits and pieces of your story and what you guys are doing, and it's just incorporating that, and just my philosophy is that we all rise together. Nobody can do it alone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we are big believers in collaborations, and that was one of the main reasons that we decided to start this podcast, is mainly just to talk to other people and network, and definitely building something together and helping each other out is the fastest and the best way to do it.
Exactly.
And I think what you guys are doing for what you're doing is brilliant.
Thank you so much.
I really do. And I'm not bullshitting you. I'm saying this wholeheartedly and honestly. I think what you guys are doing is great. And if I can support you in any way, you let me know, and I would love to do so.
Appreciate it. You mentioned the fitness industry, and it's quite a popular one right now. What are the things that you're seeing within that industry that you like, and what are the things that you don't like?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that part, your question?
Yeah, about the fitness industry and the current state of it. Because you're very involved in that space, what are some of the things that you like about the current state of that industry and how people are people are putting out, and what are some of the things you don't like? So basically, the pros and cons of the current state of the fitness industry.
My thought process on that, you know what? In meeting designers, it's just really defining the designers that because I literally, I want to move to another level as well. I just don't want to do t-shirts. I would like to do a fashion line, later down the line. But for right now, I'm starting off with the t-shirts and hats and starting off small. But I'm networking out to other designers to kind of feel them out as well. One of the things that I do find that is a problem is ego. That's really, to be honest with you, the only thing, because I like people to be creative just as I'm creative. So if they're passionate, if they're a designer, one of the things I like to pick their brain and say, okay, design something with your aesthetic in mind, design aesthetic, and go from there. And let's see how we can. I know what I have in mind, but let's see what you have. Let's see, where you're at, and see what you can come off based off of the vision of what I'm explaining. And I like to feel people's creative process out. But like I said, the only problem that I do find within the fashion industry is ego.
And the same question about the fitness industry. So maybe some nutritional advice that you think that is.
To be honest with you, most people are intimidated. And I'm being very honest with you. Most people are intimidated by what I've done because I've done it naturally. Mm-hmm. I didn't do it with any crazy diets. I didn't do it with, no sugar diet or this thing. I just ate regular food.
Yeah.
I did it, I did it simply. I didn't do it, I didn't go on any crazy diet. I didn't, have to measure any food or count calories or anything like that. I just, okay, today I want a salad. And most people in the fitness industry, and I joke because I say that I'm in the middle. I'm in between the fitness enthusiasts because I can hang with them, and I'm in the middle of the couch potatoes, and I can hang with them too.
Yeah.
So I consider myself in the middle. I don't consider myself a fitness expert because there are certain things that I can take from them as well and learn different things and different methods and techniques that I can learn from them to my daily life. And then there's things that I learned from the couch potatoes because I used to be one. So, you know what I'm saying? So I fit right in the middle, and that's where I want to be. I don't want to get a degree in fitness or anything, or certifications or anything like that. This is what I've done. And this is the meal, people have asked me for like meal plans and all this stuff. I'm like, just eat regular food, just cut your calories. That's it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I don't know what to eat. Oatmeal, or, you know what I mean? Eat, the stuff that's good for you.
Yeah.
Eat the stuff that's good for you, and figure out which stuff you can stomach on a daily basis without getting bored. You know what I'm saying? Because you've got to trick your brain a little bit to maintain a healthy lifestyle. I mean, you guys seem healthy, so you guys have no problem. Lucky you. But for others that are out there, we've lived a lifestyle with some bad habits, so, and it's just a matter of turning those bad habits into good habits. But as far as a fitness enthusiast, yeah, they've got their egos and stuff like that, because it's interesting that you say that, because on Saturday I met with a guy and I showed him my before and after, and he was like, wow. And then I was standing next to a fitness trainer and I said, well, show him your before and after. And his before and after was literally from the way he looked now, or the way he looked back then, and now he's got like abs and he's ripped. He's like shredded. Right. And the guy looked at me and goes, I'm more impressed with yours. I said, ooh.
Yeah, because this is like, more relatable as well.
Yeah. So I found that very fascinating. I really did. I was like, ooh, wow. And I said, okay. So, and that's where, fitness people get intimidated because, they for some reason, sometimes their ego or gets in the way, and it's like, you can look like this. Well, a lot of people don't have time to spend 12 hours in a gym, or even 4 hours in a gym. Barely people won't even want to spend an hour in a gym. So some of the things are a little bit unattainable, but I think that whereas I kind of resonate with people, it's like, okay, I just walked and ate right. That's it.
Maybe you're going to consider.
And I know it's.
Sorry.
Say it again.
Maybe at one
go
point
ahead.
you're going to consider opening a gym, Papa Joe's Common Sense Gym.
Yeah, Papa Joe's low impact gym. Yes, it'll be like some dumbbells and a treadmill. That's it.
There you go. This is gonna be full though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, but to be honest with you, see, I'm more fascinated by the people that are shredded. The dedication that it took for them. I know where they are, what they went through, because the dedication that I went through is they're 10 times more. So I'm not to say I'm admired or I'm impressed, but I'm like, okay, I know what it takes mentally. So wow, hats off to you. More power to you. And so I'm impressed by that. But as far as their ego getting in the way and all that other stuff, I don't have time to deal with that.
Exactly, and it's always step-by-step progression as well.
Yeah.
So
but again,
getting in shape,
I think
that's already a good thing.
Yeah, but I think that with the industry today, a lot of people get intimidated by the fitness enthusiasts, and they get intimidated by it because people are like, oh, I'll never look like that. Well, you don't have to look like that. Let's make you look a little bit, you know what I mean? Just let's start, and I think once you start, any fitness journey, and stick to it, you just get people that support you and, that are passionate, find the same passion as what you're doing. And, everybody grows together, and like I said, I'm learning from them on certain techniques and different foods and stuff that I can try. Not to say I'm going to use everything, but, I'll take some things and be like, okay, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that, and I'll take little things here and there, but, all in all, I think, for the fitness enthusiast to find people, so to speak, because they're getting burnt out. I talk to a lot of people that are in the industry and they're getting burnt out because they can't find clients, because they're not relatable to their clients, because they're so busy trying to, let's work out, let's go to the gym, you know what I mean? And they're just so gung-ho about it all. And I'm just like, you got to break it down even simpler, just like, I'm going for a walk, you should too. You know what I mean? Or 30 minutes a day will save your life. You know what I mean? Simple things like that. And I think that's what makes it, that's where, I don't know, where I think my story resonates with a lot of people, is because that's all I did was walk out the front door and start walking.
If you had to send out one message to our audience, what would it be?
Don't take your health for granted. Appreciate your health. Don't take it for granted.
It's a great message. Also, I think to end this conversation, we want to be respectful of your time as well. Papa Joe, you're a very, very wise, common sense man.
2 + 2, baby.
It's very hard to find other common sense people in today's world, and we're bombarded by images of perfection and crazy optimizations, and sometimes all it takes is just to walk out that door, as you said.
That's it. And to be honest with you, for anybody out there that's struggling, it's finding your change to walk out the door. What is it that you need, to get you going or get you motivated to walk out the door? And I know it's tough. Once you do it, you won't regret it. You won't regret it. And I'm living proof of that. And you just got to stick to it. And then, like I said, I know there's a lot of people out there that struggle with their weight. I mean, I don't know if the reports say that, wow, I read an article yesterday. There is 1.3 million kids that are going to be obese within the next 3 years. And, I've lived that. I was statistics before, but now I want to be part of the solution. So, I just really, the focus for me is to make sure people stick with it. and to don't give up.
Yeah.
And just, you know, if I can help in any way, that's what I'm here to do. And like I said, appreciate your health. Don't take your health for granted.
Where can people find out more?
So to speak, live for life.
Yeah, exactly. So can you share where can people find out more about you and your work?
Sure. You can, my website is JoJoNow, JoeJoe now, NOW.com. Instagram, Twitter is at Papa Joe Aviance. And that's Aviance is AVIANCE. And also, I've got a hashtag, I'm sorry, an Instagram, the Electric Negro.
I'll be especially following the progress of that character.
Oh, well, get ready. Get ready. It's coming. There's a lot coming. I mean, it was so funny before we did this interview, I got some really, really good news. And I'm just like, I'm ready to do cartwheels in my.
Glad to share that moment with you emotionally.
Well, you know, I said I cried when I got my my shirts printed for the first time, but today I'm about to do cartwheels.
It's incredible. Papa Joe, thanks very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the time, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, maybe we can do part 2 sometime in the future. You can update us on how the electric guys are doing.
Yep.
Please, I would love to. And then also, I don't know if Kent told you, but I'm going to be doing a cooking show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
hopefully soon.
yes,
on Connect TV. Yes, I'm going to be doing hosting a cooking show, incorporating, like I said, the fitness enthusiasts and the couch potatoes, bringing them into my kitchen, and we're going to cook either, you know, some healthy dishes, provided on both ends, and we're going to sit down and have a powwow and just, you know, talk about being healthy and hearing each other's stories. So I would love to someday bring you guys on that as well.
We would love
and we can do it just like we're doing now.
Great. Where is that? Where are you shooting that? Is that on Connect TV?
I will be on Connect TV. We're in the process of we're in pre-production now. So once that gets up and running, I will definitely let you know and keep you updated on that.
Nice.
Fantastic. Looking forward to that one.
Yes.
All right, man. Papa Joe.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a great day.
And, by the way,
good luck with everything.
Thank you. Same to you. Soon. And much success to you both.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Papa Joe.
Thank you.